Finally an antique mall that's actually open, and it looks pretty good. I'll give it a try. I rarely buy any bottles out of shops because there's never anything good. Well, I'm getting so sick of driving around looking at vacant lots only to find out that the privies have been dug. I got 3 days to kill before the big Columbia, South Carolina bottle show. I'm here in Aiken, South Carolina. At least there's a giant 40s dump. So I guess I'd rather dig all day in a 40s dump knowing that's going to be easy digging. I don't really like digging stuff that's modern, but at least the stress of driving around and probing just to find out there's nothing left is not going to be a problem. This must be a pretty good dump if somebody dug a hole that big. So let me get started and see what I can find in here. Okay, the digging's not working out so good for me, so I went surface hunting. Well, I dug this marble. It's not a bad looking one. Black and purple's kind of a rare combination. So then I found this. I don't know if that's a soda or a beer, but it's a weird shape for either one. And then I saw this laying on the ground, and I said, that looks like a miniature porcelain sign. Kind of is. Cadet heater. Well, I could probably get $8 or $9 for it anyway. Then I found this on top of the ground. Usually get $4.50 for those. And this was sticking out of a pile. Usually get $5 for those. And then there were several things that confused me. There were some Christmas Cokes and even a 1915 that is actually clear from Augusta. So that is about probably made, well, it's got the LGW, something around 1924 or 25. And there was stuff all the way up into 1967, like this Dr. Pepper. So I don't know why there was just a few early bottles mixed in with them. Then I got this Wild Root in green. It's kind of a scarce bottle. It might be worth $3. And another one of these that was half buried. And then I got this. I could saw it off right there and make a guitar slide out of it. Might get a few dollars for that. And then I found this. The paint's kind of ruined, but I'm sure I could still get $2 for it. It's got that odd shape to it. And this was kind of sticking out of the ground. Sapphire blue in a kind of an odd shape. And then I got this Barks root beer. I was thinking I'll saw it off and make a glass out of it, but with all that stain on it, I'm not so sure if it'll look good. And then of course I got various pieces of copper to recycle, and this bottle, and these brown 12 ounces of a generic soda type. You could always tumble it for one day and put a Pepsi label on it or something like that. So back to work. I don't really think this dump is worth digging. Everything's pulverized. I've just been walking the surface again. Picked up this wheel. Maybe somebody could use it for a replacement on their toy truck. I got this copper from my love-hate relationship with the cops. It's in pretty rough shape, but somebody might want it for something. And then of course we got the Ace of Spades. It might be worth $3 to somebody. And then we have an Noxzema. I've been saving these for 30 years. I don't know if I've ever even sold one yet. I put $3 or $3.50 on them, and they just sit on the shelf forever. Okay, I've moved to the other side of the road. It's a lot different over here. There's an embankment here about 15 to 20 feet high of bottles. Well, what's left of them. Mostly pulverized. But down in this low spot, I can see people have been digging, and it looks like the stuff's a bit older down there. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. But let me show you what I found so far. Alright, surface walking. I found an embossed Dr. Pepper. No, it's not perfect. The top is sheared off, but still, I think that's worth bringing back. I could repair that. It's probably worth about $30 if it was in good shape. And then, I don't know if people found so many Coke bottles here they didn't want them anymore. It's just an Aiken D patent. And then this one I just picked up because how many green beer bottles in that shape have you seen? And this is the Bud wine, the really late variety, but it's sheared off. But of course, if you saw it off right there, it'd make an interesting drinking glass. And then another D patent, but in the older embossment on the bottom. Looks like it could have been a Christmas Coke. And then yet another one. This one, of course, is from Colombia, and the best bottle, I couldn't believe that this was on top of the ground. Orange Crush, and there's nothing wrong with it. Did they find so many that they had to throw that one back? Okay, the embankment that's way over there is not quite as old, and it's really thick. Mostly pulverized, but somebody dug quite a lot over here in this low spot. I'm thinking this is the better area to try digging, so I guess I will probe around and feel for a good spot. Okay, where this tree fell over, that should be a good spot that hasn't been dug yet underneath it, but who can tell for sure. There's a bunch of insulators over here. I did probe it here, and it seems to go about 4 feet. About 14 inches of it seems disturbed, but under that is a nice crunchy layer. So here's the before picture, and I'll show you after an hour of digging. Okay, there it is. I had it down 4 feet deep just to see how deep it went and how old it went. It was all 1944 at the bottom, so I didn't think it was worth keeping up with all that work. So I've just been tunneling it out, getting 1946 to 48 stuff. This would have been valuable. These turpentine bottles actually were very popular about 10 or 15 years ago, and people would have paid $15 for one like that. Now maybe $7. And then I found this. Her arms are broken off and her base is broken off. Then I got a Slick Soda, some 1946 Schlitz beers probably. They came in 3 different colors that year. And then of course another D patent Coke from Aiken. And another bunch of insulators. This one I might bring home. It's got some chips on the back, but somebody might still give me $2.50 for it. And then of course Sapphire Blue and a Vicks Cobalt. And the best thing of all, a quart milk that was embossed that actually survived, but it just has the generic, a bottle full of milk is a bottle of health. Still, I might be able to get $8 for it. Alright, here I am in Aiken, South Carolina. It doesn't look like a very good town for privy digging. There's too many fancy houses around here. So I'm way on the outskirts, and I spotted this lot. Mostly I just wanted to go into the woods and look for dumps because there's a lot of empty land out there. But then after a while I started looking at these trees thinking, that sure looks like somebody's backyard from 100 years ago. And then I started looking for depressions in the ground, and I found one, and I probed it, and I crunched in the glass at only 5 inches. So I'm going to dig it right now. Well, I have a 1919 map of the neighborhood, and it doesn't even show a house being here, so I should have known it was going to be super modern. I should have just stayed at the landfill from the 40s and 50s, because this stuff is definitely not old. Looks like it's from the 50s. But since I dug it, I might as well scratch around and maybe find some milk bottles or something. At least I found a piece of copper to bring home. Maybe this is a privy from a bar where they still used outhouses in the 50s. What is the date on this one? Can't even read it. Is that a 59? I hope it's not a 1959 privy. But it kind of does look newer than that landfill I was digging in. I was just about to give up, but then I snagged onto a Coke bottle. Oh no, it's broken. Don't tell me it's a patent office. Oh, it is. That's definitely from the 50s then. Well, I better give up on this one.